Welcome into PFF's 2-Minute Drill. Austin Gayle here with Seth Galina and ESPN's David Pollack. Dave, it's so good to have you on. We're talking college football today. Got to start with this. The Big Ten, Pac-12 are the two conferences right now that are potentially opting out. That's what there's so many rumors flying around. I don't know what to think. What right now, Dave, do you think the impact of a Big Ten, Pac-12 opt-out of the fall season will have?
Dude, I mean, this is nuts. I mean, I think things change by the minute, by the hour, and that's kind of what we're dealing with. But listen, I think we keep progressing. We keep moving forward. We keep trying to find a way. I think the players have made their voice spoken loudly as any issue, by the way, we've had with social injustice, with anything that's been going on. You see all of them starting to really come together and make their voices be really known and make it know that they want to play football. They know that that's their structure. Here's my question. Here's my thing. Are we going to ask these kids to go to class? But now we can go to class and we can go in there with all the students, but we can't go and play football. So I think it's really, really interesting. I think the decision makers are the ones that have been making. By the way, the presidents, the ADs for the NCAA for years and years and years have been making the decisions for the kids. Oh, at nauseam, that's what they do. And now they're trying to do it, and the kids are like, "Nah, bro, we ain't having that. We're here to play football." So this will lead, I think, to even more change down the road. But it's gonna be interesting because you got two sides going at it, and the players are very, 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 very clear that they want football.
Yeah, I think, and the players are like the guys who I feel the most sad about, and the coaches too, because like you spent all this time, your whole life is dedicated to the sport, and it's taken away from you by conditions that are kind of out of your control. Obviously, you know, we all have to pull together as a society and stuff to deal with the virus, but there's so much more to it than that. And it's not fair to the kids who have nothing to do with the political aspect of it, who have nothing to do with all that stuff. They just want to play football. I feel really bad for them. I do think this is an important juncture in the life of college football where we could see coming out of the tunnel a completely different sport. And I think that is something to kind of look forward to, actually.
No, 100%. I think specifically looking at the Big Ten and the Pac-12, they do cancel. The ACC and the SEC seem like they're running steadfast on playing in the fall. I think you could see transfers run rampant. Guys like Justin Fields, big names in the Big Ten and Pac-12 transfer to schools that are
at Georgia.
He could. I mean, Justin Fields could go back to Georgia. Who knows where he'll end up? LSU? Well, let's use that as a pivot too. What do you think, Dave, the honest impact will be of the "We Are United, we want to play" movements will be? Because a lot of people don't buy into the fact that a 50% rev share opportunity will get pushed through, but more along the lines, an NCAA Players Association could form a union, so to speak, to get those players a seat at the table. When it's all said and done, 2020, 2021, whatever it may be, do you think ultimately these college football players will have a seat at the table, do have rights to bargain with what decisions are made at the NCAA level?
They have more power than they've ever had in their lives, and they'd be very, very smart to use it. But with great power, Spider-Man, comes great responsibility, right? So listen, I think they have to be smart with the way they use their power. They're not going to get 50% revenue sharing. They're not going to. And by the way, I don't think they should. I don't think that's something that should happen. I think players should be compensated more than they're getting compensated right now. But you got to realize there's a lot more that goes into it. By the way, those great facilities you play in every single day, those multi-billion-dollar facilities basically that you're seeing nowadays that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that you get to play in, those are paid for by other people. Those are paid for by you. You could drop a kid right. By the way, this is a fact. You could drop a college kid off right now in their underwear on campus right now, and they would leave a major university like they were a millionaire. They'd have clothes. They'd have everything that they possibly needed. So they're getting taken care of. They need to get more taken care of for sure. They're going to figure that out. But the biggest thing that's going to come out of this is their voice is more heard. And if they're smart, they have to find a way to unify that voice, create an NCAA, PA, whatever you want to call it, if the NCAA still does exist, moving forward.
Yeah, but one of my issues is, so I think the kids obviously get a lot of perks from being, especially at the D1 level, and you know that very well. Problem is my thing is always, is it enough, considering what they're bringing back to the university and like the TV deals, the merchandise and all that stuff? Would they take these less luxurious facilities, maybe take away the paintball arena, maybe take away like the bowling lanes.
The mini putt-putt.
Yeah, the mini putt, exactly. The massage chairs or whatever, just so that they can be compensated more fairly, because one of the issues is that most of them aren't going to go. I mean, it's the NCAA commercial from back in the day, but most of them are not going to go pro in sports. So all of a sudden, those 3 years of earning power, where they are earning other people money, are not coming back to them. Of course, scholarships are important and all that stuff, but I think we all know that scholarships pale in comparison to all the money that they're really generating for the universities.
I think ultimately change is going to happen. I mean, these We Are United movements, we want to play movements, I think you put it perfectly, Dave. They have more power now than they've ever had in their lives. And they're going to use that power, great responsibility, like you said, I think, to affect change on the NCAA. I don't think it'll be as vast as some of the demands we've seen from the Pac-12 and other players, but I do think change will happen. I do think these players will have their voices heard much more than they had in previous years. I have one more question, Dave. Okay. The big name right now is Trey Lance, FCS player, plays for North Dakota State. There is a chance he transfers to another school to get his shot to play against big league competition in the fall, maybe the SEC, maybe the ACC. Let's talk about some ideal landing spots for the man, the myth, the legend that is Trey Lance.
I guess we can't count the Big Ten in that now. So
I guess not.
I thought Michigan would be a great spot for Trey Lance. I thought that would make a lot of sense. Need a quarterback, what they're trying to accomplish offensively. What about LSU? I think LSU would be a lot of fun. I mean,
absolutely.
Listen, Trey Lance is an interesting watch. If you watched him, he doesn't play in an offense that really lets his skill set thrive. So I think, you watch the playoff games and the championship. I mean, he was unbelievable. And most of the time it's with his feet, just taking off, scrambling, and nobody can catch him. I'd be interested to watch him at the next level and see. But I think if I was a quarterback, I would want to play. And if you think about LSU, that's a spot that's going to be challenged. You got Max Johnson coming in as obviously a highly recruited kid. Brennan's been there for a couple of years. It's going to be a backup. So, you think in a spot like LSU, remember now your teams are kind of shrunk because you're not going out west possibly and possibly to the Big Ten.
I think what you say about him not playing in an offense that suits him is totally on. I just looked these numbers up. Only 21 RPO throws last year. Only 30 screen passes thrown last year. Like, they make him play in a pro-style system, and for him to put up the numbers that he did is impressive. I mean, I think he's that good. I can't see a team where there's maybe, if we include the entire, Division I landscape, there's maybe 4 quarterbacks who he wouldn't beat out. And it's guys who are just entrenched in the system, like, let's say a Sam Ellinger or something like that, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Like, that guy, Trey Lance, is so damn good that I think he goes anywhere and beats out pretty much anyone. And like you said, the teams that lost quarterbacks last year, like Michigan, like LSU, those are really the places that he'll just go and start right away, and he'll be fantastic if that were to happen.
The two biggest question marks Trey Lance is going to face, say he doesn't play another snap of college football entering the 2021 NFL draft, is snap count. Only averaged nearly 18 dropbacks a game at North Dakota State, and level of competition. That's why I think transferring to the SEC, going to LSU, throwing the football a ton, getting better prepared for the NFL against top-flight competition is the way to go. Or another team that came to mind, Florida State. I'm not the biggest fan of James Blackman. Go out there to Florida State, play in the ACC again against some of the best college football teams in the country, and prove yourself against that top-flight competition. I think LSU, Florida State, two teams that obviously would have huge upgrades in Trey Lance coming under center.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.